welcome along to AFTV. You know, I wanted to do a video on a particular subject, and I've got my mate Julian here.
Hi.
You would have seen Julian many a times on AFTV. He's been on the watch-alongs and stuff like that. And Julian, nice to have you here, mate.
Thank you very much.
Welcome along.
Just before we start,
Yeah.
I know the last fan cam that I did, just before Turkish got involved, you had your eye on my Arsenal Celtic hat. You thought it was retro, but as with a lot of my clothing, it's original. Just have never bought anything new, and you quite like that hat, so I bought you another one from my collection.
Oh, thank you very much.
Arsenal Aberdeen one.
Oh yeah, I was looking the last time you had on. It was like, and a lot of people from our era, which is ages ago, right, remember those hats. So we have like Arsenal one side, Celtic the other, or Arsenal Rangers. There was a, and this is like, oh, Aberdeen.
Yeah, that was.
So Arsenal one side, and Aberdeen on the other side, and yeah, it was all the rage at one time. Scottish team, English team.
3-4 years. That one for me was.
Why Aberdeen? I don't remember Aberdeen.
Well, it was.
That's quite a unique one, man.
Yeah, it was for Charlie Nicholas. I was a big fan. In the.
Then he was at Celtic, you know.
He started at Celtic, but then we sold him to Aberdeen. And at the time, I was so upset, I dyed my hair black.
Well, that's cool. Oh, thank you very much, man. Arsenal one side, and these originals. Yeah, I know you. Yeah, you don't.
Absolutely originals.
You got angry with me the last time I said you had a shirt on, and I said it was retro.
No.
And you was like, no, that's not retro. I actually bought that back in the day, and it's the original shirt. It's just that any shirt I've got from them times can't fit me. So I mean, you're doing well on that aspect as well.
Yeah, well, as I told you before, the difference was my mother always bought things 2-3 sizes too big for me.
she was thinking ahead. She was thinking ahead. But the reason I got you on here today, right, is that, again, a subject that we hate discussing, right? But I wanted to discuss this with you because I was really interested in it, right? Racism in football, right? As obviously we're looking to go back now. Fingers crossed, we'll be back in stadiums very, very soon, right? We've seen all kind of initiatives taking a knee and stuff like that against racism in football. I know, obviously, I've experienced racism in football. I've done documentaries on it, and I know what it's like from a black person's point of view. I know there's Islamophobia at games. I've got friends who've told me their experiences. And when we did that documentary as well, we had a couple of Asian fans on, and they spoke about Islamophobia, and they spoke about, you know, racism towards Asian fans. But you're Jewish, right?
I'm Jewish.
And you had an incident, and I remember this about a year ago, with anti-Semitism.
Yep.
But you actually took a step and you reported that incident. Tell us a bit about what happened.
Yeah, I'll talk through it. But the first thing I wanted to say, and I always like to look on the positives, is how things have improved. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, there is still an issue, but so going back to my age, the first time I was aware of it was probably back in the 80s. First away game I ever went to with a friend, and it was at Tottenham. I think it was the League Cup semi-final. It was the second leg, and it was a day that I really should have been enjoying. It was a great Arsenal performance. I think it was the one where at half-time the PA announced how the Spurs supporters were going to get their tickets, and I really should have been enjoying the fact that they weren't getting their Wembley tickets, but instead.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, but instead, one of my sort of memories of that day was what appeared to be the vast majority of the Arsenal fans singing and chanting "Hitler was a Gooner," and I was kind of sat there and I was conflicted. I felt, and I still feel, I'm an Arsenal fan, but when I'm surrounded by my fellow Arsenal fans, in effect glorifying the darkest moments in Jewish history, you kind of question, should I be there? And I felt like an outsider on what should have been a great day, a really great day.
And do you know what, you say that, and then we kind of, with the documentary, that's what we did a lot. People don't understand sometimes how those things affect you. People be like, oh, get on with it, Julian, mate. It's only words. Tottenham, you know, it was just a bit of banter towards the Tottenham fans because they're kind of labelled with this sort of Jewish tag, or which again, that's crazy, right? But for you, that touched deep.
Yeah, it touched deep. I mean, how many years ago was that?
And you still remember it now?
And that's what I remember. I remember your documentary, and there was a gentleman, I think he was a Chelsea fan, and he was taken by his father, and the abuse that he got, and the father was embarrassed. Now, I've got that round the other way. I would never take my father to an away game because I'd be embarrassed at what I would hear. So although I'm not black, I can't be in his skin, I can relate to the feelings of his father round the other way. Yeah.
I mean, that was the incident of the Chelsea fan in the documentary where he said that, you know, his dad was spat at and stuff like that again, and he was in tears remembering it. And this is the thing, these things touch deep. And that's what people need to understand. That's why we need to get rid of it, like totally, wherever. It just should not exist at football. And it always annoys me that we're still talking about it in this day and age.
But again, to go back to the positives, we're not at that time in the 80s. Things have definitely improved.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, I look back even 10 years ago at Arsenal's present stadium, and I can't remember who we were playing, but there was two guys in front of me hurling anti-Semitic abuse to an ex-Spurs player. And I thought, I can't have this. So I went to the steward and I reported it to the steward. And the steward said to me, if I take action against every single person that shouts Yido to an ex-Spurs player, me and you would be the only ones in this stadium, and refuse to do anything. I reported it to the club via email, and I heard nothing back. So even 10 years ago, you know, things had improved since the 80s, but still at that time, there was nothing. It was swept under the carpet. Coming on to, I say, present day incident, it was back in January 2020, Bournemouth Arsenal, in the FA Cup. And this is why I'm saying, yes, there's still incidents of this, and it mainly happens at away games. I don't see or hear almost anything at Arsenal games, home games, but it's mainly an away game issue, I feel, is that it was a game, it was Bournemouth Arsenal, it was the FA Cup. Now, I've got to the stage where I would actually prefer, and if I can do and I have the option, I will sit with the home fans.
What do you mean?
Because
with the home fans at an away game.
With the home fans at an away game, because of the probability of me being surrounded by some kind of anti-Semitic abuse at an away game.
Wow! So you'd sit.
I'd sit, and I have sit.
So to watch Arsenal, you'd sit with the away fans.
With the home fans.
The home fans are with the away fans. So you sit with the home fans at an away game.
If I had the
so to avoid hearing any.
To avoid hearing that.
Wow.
Even though I'd far rather sit at the Arsenal end, and there's obviously dangers of sitting with the home fans being an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, you go through that danger rather than.
Yeah, if I get the choice at that particular game. It was FA Cup. Bournemouth, as we know, is a small stadium. So I sat with the Arsenal fans, and probably after maybe the first few minutes, someone shouts out, "What do you think of Tottenham?" And I kind of know what's coming at that stage.
That bit at the end.
Yeah, so it's that bit at the end. And
by the way, not everybody sings that bit at the end, but you do get some people that will still sing that. And then when you pull them up, they'll be like, "Oh, come on, what's this?"
With this thing, I'm thinking, right, okay, I just hope no one next to me is going to shout that to put me in that situation. I don't go to football to have confrontations or educate people on racism. I'm going to football because I want to support Arsenal. I'm not there for that. So I'm just thinking, oh, please, just no one say anything. The guy behind me, you know, at that moment, just shouts, "You cunts," basically right in my ear. You know, I've got no choice. I've turned around to him and I've said, "I find that it's anti-Semitic. I'm offended by that. Once more, and I'll report you. He says, fuck off. Okay, so I turned back, I watched the game. I didn't hear anything more for 5-10 minutes. He taps me on the shoulder. He says, I'm really sorry. You're right, I won't do it again. I thought, oh, okay, you know. If I'm cynical, I'm thinking he kind of realises that I'm serious. I will get you thrown out, I'll get you reported, whatever's going to happen. Let's look at the positives. He may well have thought, okay, just like you said, that they don't realise it's anti-Semitic. They go, oh, it's just Tottenham. You know, I'm not talking about you being a Jew in front of me. I'm talking about Tottenham. That they don't associate the two together.
Mm. Some people, yeah.
Some people. So by me basically pulling him up on it, he's thought, okay, this guy's right. I was wrong. Taps me on the shoulder, apologises. Instant over. It may well be that he'll never do that again. I'm not sure what the reasons and incentive, only he knows why he won't do it again if he won't do it again. But, you know, I thought, okay, good. Rest of the game goes on, half time. You know, all I can say is Bournemouth's catering facilities aren't quite up to Arsenal's.
Quite small, yeah.
Yeah, it's quite small. So I've been there before, and I sort of clocked the refreshment facilities as I walked in. A few minutes before half time, I've gone down there to get in the queue early. As I've got to the front, I heard, and this was different. This thing, it's at half time. Everyone's pretty quiet. I heard very loudly, "You cunts," shouted. And I've turned round, 3-4 metres behind me. He's a rather large gentleman. And he screams it 3 or 4 times. But there's no one around him, there's no chant going up. I've no idea why he said that. And I have to say I'm confused, absolutely confused why. You know, it could be that he knew that the chairman of Bournemouth was Jewish, and it's some sort of protest in his own mind against the lack of refreshment facilities. I don't know. I've no idea why he said it, but I thought I can't have that. A few metres away from me, I noticed that there was a steward and 2 gentlemen speaking to the steward. So I've walked over there and I'm listening to the conversation, and they are reporting that incident. And I thought, okay, fair enough, but I just wanted to kind of listen in. And after a few minutes, the steward said, yeah, that's good. We will do something about this. However, I need to take your contact details. And both of the guys just said, no, we don't want to get involved. You know, we're telling you what's happened, but we don't want to put our name to it. And the steward was put in a position and said how it was. He said, I cannot do anything about this unless you put your name to it. And they both basically scurried off. At which point, you know, for me it was obvious. You know, I said, right, I saw exactly what happened. I will gladly put my name to it. Gave them gave them in effect a witness statement. Took my details, and then just before the end of the game, I get a call on the mobile, and it was a policeman. And the policeman said, look, I'm in the ground, would you mind meeting me after the game to give a more formal witness statement? I said, yeah, absolutely, happy to do so. After the game, I met the policeman, was with him for about 45 minutes, went through exactly what happened, took all my details again, my home address, email address, and said, we will be in touch. So, okay. Did take a few months. I don't know if you remember, sort of going back. It was when COVID first started.
First struck, yeah.
Around April time, I get contacted and said by the police. I said, right, we'd like you to come to do a ID parade. Would you be prepared to do it? I said, absolutely. So it wasn't done exactly like you see in the films where they're all sort of lined up. Sat behind a computer in a police station in London, and various different pictures.
COVID again, isn't it?
Yeah, various different pictures are given to me, and there was 12 images shown to me, and I picked out successfully the person that I had witnessed. And and then they came back to me and said, look, you have picked out that person. This will probably go to court unless they plead guilty. If they plead guilty, it won't go to court.
Did they plead guilty?
No.
They pleaded not guilty?
They pleaded not guilty. Now, I didn't hear anything for the best part of a year. So it wasn't until probably February this year that I got contacted again, and they said he's still pleading not guilty. The court case is scheduled for the end of March. Would you be prepared to come down to Poole Magistrates Court and appear and be a witness? And I said, absolutely. So at any time before, if he pleads guilty, you won't have to come. He didn't plead guilty, so I went down to Poole Magistrates Court end of March. I have to say I was slightly disappointed because when I got there, I found out that he didn't have to be there. He was able to give his evidence on video link. Because of COVID restrictions, I wasn't able to be in court for anything other than my witness statement, and also the I think it's called cross-examining by the defence barrister. So I have no idea what else went on in the trial. I know it went on for about 3-4 hours, and my part was for about 20-25 minutes, where I was cross-examined. I mean, this isn't a criticism of the defence barrister, because I know that he was just doing his job, but his main line of questioning was concentrating on me being a football fan. I must have been drunk because I'm at an away game. So, look, I kind of shut that one down quite easily. I'm not a big drinker, especially on a Monday night when I've driven for 300 miles. So when he asked me if I had a drink, I sort of flippantly said, I'm assuming you don't mean cups of tea. So the end result was found guilty of, I think it's called aggravated racial harassment by word. The sentence was suspended for 12 months. He does have a criminal record. The fine, in effect, was £121, which isn't a massive amount. But he's also got a football banning order coming up on Wednesday. So one of the reasons I wanted to do this interview today was to highlight that, and I would hope that the authorities will take what I would consider to be the appropriate action and ban him from football for a time. And if they don't, I would look for Arsenal to step up and at least ban him from Arsenal games.
Wow, wow. So, you know, you took a stand against it.
So I took a stand.
You took a stand against it when others weren't really, you know, and you can understand why some people will be like, you know, I don't really, because you've still had to go through a lot to get to that stage.
And it's not something I want to go through again.
Yeah, you don't want to have to go through that at all, you know, and, you know, I'm sure he will get a banning order for that.
I'd hope so.
But it just shows and highlights that despite what you said, and like, you are right, it's not as bad as it used to be. I said that in the documentary as well. It's not as horrific as it was horrific back in the day. Yep. However, I do think to myself though, if you're going to a game and you're thinking to yourself, I'd rather sit with the away fans, I'd rather sit with the home fans, should I say, at an away game, that's still bad.
It is bad.
That to me is then, it's not really a massive improvement, it's more...
I'm taking myself out of the way.
You know, action will be. I guess back in the day, nothing would have happened with that situation.
Nothing.
That would have been,
even 10 years ago, the steward didn't want to know.
Yeah, and that's the point you're making. Nothing would have happened. At least now, you're making the point that if you do take a stand against this sort of thing, something will happen.
Yeah.
Right. But it just takes. You know, I'm a bit almost like, why am I shocked about this? But it's a bit shocking that you feel like that, you're so uncomfortable that you rather sit with the home fans, you know what I mean? And these are the sort of things that, that's why I wanted to, you know, I was more than happy to do this interview so that these sort of things are highlighted.
Yeah.
Because these are the things that people don't understand, whether it be racism against black people, whether it be Islamophobia, whether it be anti-Semitism, you know, homophobia, any of these things. People just think sometimes it's a couple of words.
Yeah.
But it's not. You go to watch a game of football, you just want to support your team.
Yeah.
You don't want to be uncomfortable. You're there and you're thinking, like you said, a song's being sung and you're thinking, I wonder if they're going to...
Yeah, is it going to be the guy behind me? Is it going to be the guy in front of me?
Yeah.
I just want it... I know someone somewhere is going to say something. I just don't want it to be that close. I don't want confrontation. It's not why I'm going
you
to
just want to
football.
go, you want to go and watch a game of football.
Yeah, I want to go. I want to...
You know, and you just want to watch it like everybody else. And this is the thing. And this is why it's good to highlight these things, because I think this is what sometimes some people... There are some people that are out and out racist, right? They'll say that and they know what they're saying and they don't care. There's some people that will sing the song that you're talking about that don't even know what they're singing. And then they don't realise how deep that runs. And then when you highlight it to them and say, hey, bro, you shouldn't sing that, man. Oh, Tottenham fans call themselves that. Yeah, come on, Robbie, whoever it might be, come on. This is the woke brigade now, you know what I mean? Cancel society. What, can't we sing a bloody song no more? But you're showing why that's deep to you.
Yeah,
you don't want to hear that at all.
It is. And I think, look, the reason, I thought about it quite deeply, about why I wanted to come and do this interview, because it's totally different from the interviews we normally do. And I enjoy those interviews. I mean, the reason I'm involved with AFTV is because I enjoy it. It's good fun. You know, we have banter about the Cronkies. I have one view, you have another.
Well, I don't agree with you on those.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't. And I encourage that.
Yeah,
it's good. But this is totally different.
Yeah.
I'm not coming here almost with a tear in my eye to talk about these things. But there was 4 reasons why I wanted to do this interview. The first one is, I go back to the incident in the first half, is in effect I educated the guy. And I want to educate people that, as you said, it runs deeper. It's not just words. The second reason is to warn people as well that you can be had up for this now. You know, that there's, you know, my aim next season is to not sit in the home end. I want to sit in the away end every game, because I'm hoping that it will be better. But what I'm saying is, if someone says that next to me, you know, I'm going to educate them first. I'm going to ask them politely not to say it. But if they say it again, I am going to report them. And in that crowd, they think they're safe, and that, you know, there's a certain crowd herd mentality that they think they can get away with this. Now, people within that crowd, I may well be one of them, and I'm going to be put in a position, almost coerced into reporting them, doing something about it.
Calling it out.
So that's the second reason I've come on here, to just say that, you know, it's a warning that I'm in that crowd. But the third element, one of the third reasons why I wanted to come and do this video, was I want to encourage other people to do the same. I don't want to be the only one. I'm not on some sort of one-man crusade to step this out. Is that if even a sizable minority of people call this out, it's just going to stamp it out instantly. You know, I don't want to be the only one. So yes, I understand why those 2 other guys who reported it sort of took a step back. You know, I wouldn't say they're cowards. I wouldn't say I'm brave. I didn't want to do it. I was scared. I didn't want to go to court. I've not been to court before, for that sort of, you know, for that kind of trial. It's not something I want to do, but I did it because I felt that the alternative of not doing it was worse. So those are the 3 reasons. I want to encourage, I want to warn, and I want to educate. And the 4th reason, specific to this case, is that I want to, I want the guy getting a football banning order. I think that's, you know, I'm not saying lock him up for 100 years, but I think he deserves a football banning order, and at the very least, Arsenal to ban him for a period of time.
Well, listen, you know, I really appreciate you coming on and talking about this. I think these things are really, really important, and you know, I've had it at games, but I have it from my point of view. you know, and hearing how it affects you, it affects people in different ways. You know, you might have someone else who just shrug it off, but me, I can't shrug it off either. Like when I hear it, it just brings back memories of back in the day, and I just don't want to see that no more. And I don't want my kids coming to a game and having to go through that sort of stuff. And I don't feel that anybody should have to go to a game and feel uncomfortable, especially when you're with your own fans. Yeah. That's even worse. You're with your own fans, and you know, so it's something that we've got to really cut out of the game. And you've done a great thing. You called it out, and I think that's a thing going forward. I feel the people that are so important in getting this out of football is us, the fans. Yeah. If we keep calling this out, those people become such a small minority that it starts to just get it out. Because people always say, well, Robbie, it's a society problem. What are you going to do? I'm like, well, first and foremost, we're talking about football, right? I can't deal with a wider society problem, nor can you. We're not MPs, we're not politicians. That's for them to deal with. But what we can do is, well, whilst we're at a football game, we can all come together and say, right, at a football game, you may have your beliefs, whatever they are, when it comes to anti-Semitism, racism, Islamophobia, or whatever it is. But when you come to a game of football, leave that behind. If you're not coming here to just support your team and to just like, you know, not bringing that sort of energy you're not welcome. Let's make those people not welcome at a game of football. Yeah, that's exactly what they're trying to do with us, which is make us feel not welcome. We've got to turn the tables on it so they don't feel welcome. But listen, brilliant. Thank you very much. Thank you for the hat. Pleasure. And Julian, that's a great story. I thank you for that story, and well done to you. You know, I think you have been very brave in taking a stand on this, and I think it's going to set a great example to other people if these sort of incidents happen in the future. And less as Arsenal fans, you know, and all football fans, you know, we've still got a lot of work to do on this. It's better, as Julian says. Yeah, a lot better. But it's still here. And we still got to, you know, call it out anytime we see it. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Love to hear your comments. What have you thought of what Julian's explained now and what's happened to him? Have you ever had an incident like this that's happened to you? You ever felt uncomfortable going to a game of football? And do you think it's right for that guy to get a banning order from football as well? Would love to hear from you in the comments. Thanks for watching. And listen, we'll be back, hopefully not talking about this subject. Thank you.